Hey, what's up everyone? Brad Chmielewski here with episode 148 of Shatter The Vain. Then update 2.3. It's like a couple days away. We're having charms and a whole bunch of balance changes, but we go into some of that here on this episode. But really, I'm going to save all the balance changes and just tweaks to the game for episode 149. I had to get in there and play with this attack speed change and kind of see what that's all about. This episode, I got Black Dahlia joining me because the Barracks just launched. The Barracks is a Discord server where players can learn, improve, kind of get tips, coaching, things like that. Really awesome idea. So many great resources like within this Discord channel. Like it kind of shows the power of Discord. Like I didn't even, all the stuff that Discord can do is kind of nuts, and this group, this channel is taking advantage of that. So look for that link in the notes and the description. Join the Barracks. Just improve at the game. I'm trying to help everyone get better at the game here with the podcast and let them know these changes and just what's happening and highlight all the awesome stuff that's happening in the community. So yeah, this is one. If you want to get better at the game, go hang out at Barracks, see what's happening there. We also talk a little bit about a couple of the other projects that have launched. The Halcyon Hub, that's up. So it's just been a lot of stuff happening in the Vainglory community in the last couple weeks. And this new update is pretty neat. Some new features. Should be pretty exciting. Before we jump into this, got to mention the Patreon page over at patreon.com/shatterthevain. If you can support the show, that would be awesome. But I appreciate everyone that listens, watches, and just supports that way. Maybe just tell a friend, and that's a great way to support the podcast also. All right, but let's do it. Let's jump into episode 148.
Shatter the Vain.
This is the 148th episode of Shatter the Vain. My name is Brad Chmielewski, and it's a podcast all about Vainglory. Every week, I try to break down the news, gameplay, game tips, and hopefully we can become better players together. And every week, bringing on new people from the community, people that love this game, support it, help it grow. And this week, I have Black Dahlia joining me. Welcome.
Hey, happy to be here.
Yeah, good to have you on. Good to chat with you kind of in person, even though it's virtually, but yeah, chatted online many a time. So yeah, good to have you here.
Yeah, I know. Long-time fan, excited to be here.
So I know you were recently, you're like, I say about 2-3 months ago, right, on the T-Dog's Alternating Current podcast when your previous guild kind of merged with Gangstar. So you guys kind of talked about that a little bit, but I'd love for you to kind of introduce yourself and let people know who maybe didn't watch that, just kind of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, no problem. I am Black Dahlia, real name Thea. I am a longtime gamer and longtime player of VG. I started playing, I know there's a lot more people who have played longer than I have, but I started in May 2015.
Okay.
And joined at the time Halcyon Dragons as soon as in-game guilds were created, and that was my home up until December of last year.
Okay.
When went to Worlds and met with everybody in the industry and was so excited and so happy to meet everybody in person, and that I hadn't gotten to meet at a previous event that I'd gone to, so it was really cool. And after a 30-minute conversation with Pont, talking about things like VGC and the Barracks, and programs that I wanted to make happen for Vainglory and things for the community, he said, you're really smart, actually. Do you want to come join Gangstars? And I was kind of like, yeah, okay, sure. So that's kind of how the story started with me, and passed the torch back to the former owner of Hydra, took some members with us and just joined forces. And it's been a wild ride since then. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah, it's only been like, what, three months now, so it's, yeah.
It feels like so much longer, and I've done so many things. We went back out to San Francisco a couple weeks ago, and plans for the coming year. It's really exciting. So I just can't wait for everybody to see what we've got planned.
So really, if you wouldn't have gone to the Worlds event, this may have all not came together like this, huh?
No, yeah. It's so weird. The the timeline of the things that had to happen. Before Worlds, I'd never been to a live event, and not before Worlds, before the fall, I'd never been to a live event, and I went to the All-Star game up in New York, and right after that, I didn't understand Twitter. I was like, "What's Twitter? This is weird." And then people in Vain Shames are like, "You should really get on Twitter." So it's like, "Oh, okay, there's a cat." And so once I got on Twitter, then I started meeting, a lot more people and talking with a lot more people, and everybody started talking about Worlds. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take the plunge, and I'm just gonna buy a ticket. I'm just gonna go. And after listening to listening to your podcast and T-Dogs, and hearing the one with Sapphire, ran into her in the bathroom on that Friday,
nice, okay.
saying, "Hey, you're in Geeksters, I just heard your podcast." And, that's just how things went. So it's just like one, succession after the other, and she introduced me to Pont, and, it's just after, just everything that lined up. And then going to Worlds, it was a crazy ride.
That's kind of awesome. So you would say the Worlds was a success then, like the whole experience and being there and making all this all came together. So yeah.
Oh no, absolutely. If to anybody who hasn't been to a live event or hasn't had the opportunity to event, the next one that you have a chance to go to, whether it be a LAN party or a tournament or just anything, make it happen, because it just makes the experience. Okay, she's being so bad. I'm so sorry. It just makes the experience and just brings gaming and esports to life in such a unique way that I just can't even describe it. It's just so much fun. And this community is so awesome. Yeah. And, it's just, we've got a good group of people, and when everybody gets together and, to hang out in person after, 7 months, 6 months, whatever, talking on the computers, everybody's just like a little schoolgirl. We're all just super excited. We're like, "Oh my God.
You're real. Yeah.
You're real, and I can play VG with you. And this is so great." So it's just fantastic.
So that was now, but that was then, but now we have like this new project that you recently launched this week, the Barracks. I guess before we get into what is that, we kind of need to know what is the VG Collective. I know I had Pawn by Ukrainian on when it was called, I'm blanking on the name now. It changed names like 3 times.
Yeah. So first it was GSD, which was Getting Stuff Done. And then we changed it to, what did we change it to? It was...
Yeah, whatever the second one was like a week long name. Like, yeah, it was short.
It was I think it was Sam. There we go. It was Sam.
Okay. Super Evil. Something like that. Yeah.
Super Awesome Minicorp. So, but SAMC, understandably said that was a little too close for comfort. So they were like, So we decided to change it again, and we have, after much debate and discussion, we all, as a group, decided that VGC Vainglory Collective was the best description of what we were and what we wanted to represent. A collective of Vainglory community members that were, set on creating awesome programs and productions for the community, for the areas that were so missing.
And there are many people outside of Gangstars involved with the Vainglory Collective. We still need to, I guess, harp on that it's not a Gangstars only collective of, otherwise it would just be all under Gangstars. So.
Yeah, exactly. No, we have many different organizations represented. We've got members of SEMC in there. We've got Team Beta, what was Team Smurf before they joined. We've got For You. We've got a lot of different people from a lot of different organizations. BK is another guild. Dice. So there's a lot of different people. Oh, and Time, Bleeko's and Guild.
For Rowan,
So gotta give a shout out to my girl. We've just got a lot of good people in there, working on a lot of different stuff. Everything from, Pont went over it, but we've got, programs working from tournaments to educational focuses, like the Barracks, to game shows like Halcyon Report, and some other behind the gamer tag, and just other things that are rolling out and going to be really cool for the community.
So the Barracks launched this week. So this was a project you had been thinking about prior, before Gangstars and before Vainglory Collective happened, right?
Oh yeah. Well, actually, it's based off of a program that I ran on Hydra called the Hydra Training Camp, and it was a little bit different. It was a little bit more pro player focused. Still the same basic concept, but something that I saw there was a lot of different educational towards things out there with people making YouTube videos, people running training, and tutoring and coaching, and I thought that, well, if you do it in one central hub, and you have, at the time, a lot more pro players and pro coaches, because that was a little bit of my naivety, and a little bit of the scene has changed since then. People had, there was a lot more. It was just a different esports scene. And so we had, Tay from Phoenix, who was their coach, and we had Lost Boy Toff in there, doing roam coaching, and, a lot of different people from a lot of different areas, and, and it's the same basic concept of teaching, Vainglory and teaching skills, and having a place for people to go and ask their questions. Ask, what's the new Catherine build? I'm having trouble with Saw, even though, I will say I'm biased. I don't like Saw at all. So, why would you want to ever ask about him?
Why ask? Yeah.
Why? Somebody more like Alpha. Alpha's better. But as a hero, just in general, completely different position, but just overall better hero. So, or Rhyme, who's my baby. I can't wait till he's back in meta. But so, just a place where people could go and ask and, swap, tips versus just being in, your casual guilds server, talking with the people who were in your circle, asking and sharing screenshots.
Okay.
So we ran that program, and it was, pretty successful. But I wanted to take it bigger, and I wanted to, get more orgs involved, do it at a grander scale. And that was one of the things we talked about at Worlds. And so when I came on board and we, started the VGC program, former owner, then new owner, decided that he didn't want to keep the public training camp running.
Okay.
So
it's a lot of work, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot of work, and we had a lot of people involved. So, made the decision to work on a new version, a bigger, better version, because that was the whole goal, was to create a tool, an educational tool for the community.
Okay.
So we got a group together and have been toiling away for the last few months trying to get it perfected, ready for launch, and that's what we did this week. It was ready, and we went ahead and did our soft launch with it.
And so this is a Discord server for anyone who's listening or watching. They're like, what is this bear? It's a Discord server, so you join that. There'll be a link in the show notes in the description, so you can click on it and check it out. So did you pick, was the previous one in Discord too, or did Discord just have the tools that made the most sense rather than trying to go somewhere else? Like, I don't even know where you would go, like band or like build a whole website. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just something that it didn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to me to build a whole website. First of all, you don't have the interactive tools, or if you do, that's a whole next level of web development that is beyond my capabilities for sure. We were based in Discord, so it made just as much sense to do the new one in Discord.
Yeah.
And we decided that it was just a better interactive tool than Band. Just the way we could set up channels, and it was just a little bit more user friendly on that front. So we partnered with EZL. And they were also launching a tutoring program, so we merged those together. So now you can get to the server in a lot of different places. You will be able to get to it on the Halcyon Hub website, okay. Which is another VGC program, central hub for all things Vainglory, which is a website. But then you can also get to it through the EZL website. And you can also get to it by going to discord.me/thebarracks.
Okay.
So
this site is more for training and learning rather than, like, I know there was a couple other Discord servers launched in the past, like, couple months, and another one last week that Blico put together and so that one's more just sharing content, but this one's for learning and really getting better at the game, not just hanging out and chit-chatting.
Exactly. Right. So it's basically, the rundown of the server. We have, we have vetted tutors that are, based on their in-game skill, their temperament, their knowledge of the game. We, interviewed and vetted them. And they are available to answer questions for, build items or new heroes. If you're struggling with a hero and you want in-game, assistance, you can go in and talk with them. And, if they have time, they, because we have separate settings for instructor on call, they will hop in game with you and give you direct feedback on what's going on with it. We also have a lot of different channels. So example for the first channels is resources, and we have listed, every possible, Vainglory research that you could use for, that would be helpful for you in game. So we have, Broken Myth linked there. We've got all of the API resources, VainRank, VG Miner, VainGG, we need to get VG Pro in there. But, and we, have every other, lore and, wiki, site and, all of these other things. And then we have, a channel for video tutorials, and we have started a Barracks YouTube channel where we have everybody's, and we're going through and, making playlists based on heroes and builds. Okay. And so that you can follow along, and those are all linked there. And if you want to learn about, being a roam, or, well, I guess Captain. Now, I'm still like, I still do it. It's a hard habit to break. But, and if you want to learn about, just, you're brand new and you're looking at starting, Xandral has a great video about that. Yeah. And then after that, we have channels that are in the considered under the Academy listing, where they're read-only channels, but they are basic descriptions of what the role is. So, for example, the captain role, jungle role, carrier role. and the list of standard heroes. And we're going to expand on that and do, as the server grows, we're going to do, the, roles that are, or heroes that are used in those roles and, not often, but are still good, and, expand more further discussion of, tips and tools that are necessary. And then we have a breakdown of builds and draft, and we're actually in discussion of doing a whole breakdown based on items. So going and, this is the damage output for this item. This is what, the description, especially with these new changes coming up with attack speed.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to figure that out if you don't understand it to like the max level. It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Exactly. So, it's going to have this breakdown of the, statistics, of, what the ratio, and what we are hoping to also roll out is an analyst academy. So a breakdown and tutoring program for, those who want to become, mine that data for, and, do those breakdowns so that coaches can use that in the esports scene.
Nice.
So, and then we also have, a channel for, all the big YouTubers, linking to their channels separate from the video tutorials so that people can go and, based on the descriptions, what's beneficial for them. And then competitive streamers, because, we tend to, as a community, look to the competitive players for, looking what they're doing, looking how they're playing, and, implementing that into our, our gameplay.
Well, we assume that they know best. They may not, but we assume that.
They're pretty good at the game, and that they, that we, yeah. So, we've got all that linked in there, and we've got a couple people in there so far that have checked it out. Polly was really excited. He was like, "Oh, look, my team," because he's on One Piece with Lost Boy Top right now. He was all excited, and I was just like, yes, we've included everybody. So we try to be, fair and balanced. We want to get, more representation for all the regions. We want to get more instructors. We have a couple from C right now, and we want more from, SA, and, so that right. There are people in who can and make this really a global tool to be used by players, and this is not just for, you just picked up the game and you're just looking. This is for everybody. This is all the way up into, Vainglorious level, because just because you're Vainglorious doesn't mean you know everything about the game yet. So,
so
you
can
anyone
could be an instructor. Like if you're looking for more people, they can apply, and if they're of a decent skill tier, you don't want someone who's just beginning trying to teach people how to play the game. It's kind of
well, I don't feel that most people who are just beginning would necessarily want to try to do that, but who knows? They might be very confident.
Yeah.
But yes, there's in general a standard rule, and we'll have the application linked in the welcome message that should be up actually tonight. And so if you're interested in tutoring, there are certain requirements, certain time, availability, depending, and just based on your time commitments. Like we have some coaches from EU, so we know that they're they have to deal with their team first, and then they come in and donate the rest of their time here.
Yeah, okay.
So it's just mainly based on like your history and your temperament, because we want people who have patience.
Okay.
And who can be good role models, people who are willing to sit down and not, tell somebody who's, a tier 3
that you're bad, you should stop playing. Yeah.
Exactly. Who will, say, no, this is how you stutter step,
Mm-hmm.
This is why you don't build, a weapon blade on, I don't know.
On Koshka, yeah. Doesn't that...
Yeah, exactly. So this is why you don't do that unless it's in blitz mode and you're trolling. So, just basically, well-rounded people who are willing to donate their time and energy to help make this community a more, a more interactive place and a more positive place to be. Because everybody wants, if you're going to spend time playing a game, you would like to, be improving your skill.
Yeah.
I would hope.
So what's been the reaction? It's only been less than a week now since this episode's probably going up. Like, have people, good feedback? People I've seen some comments where people are like, even want more. And it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much here.
Oh, it's been phenomenal. In the first 4 hours, we had 100 people already.
Nice.
So I think we're up to 300 now, and this was with minimal advertisement, minimal, reach out and whatnot. So it's been really awesome, and it made me really happy that this many people right off the bat have said, oh my gosh, this is a resource that we wanted, because, to me, it's kind of reassuring, because, the secret fear of
maybe I'm just
really scrub and I just want people
to teach me.
Nobody else wants that. So it's been really heartwarming to see all the people coming in and talking about it in other servers, saying, hey, have you gone and checked out the Barracks? And, this, talking about something that an instructor said, and, posting in another server saying like, oh yeah, they have some really good tips. And our instructors being proud of being in there and being helpful and wanting to advertise it more. And then just, the player discussion, it's been phenomenally positive.
Nice. Well, yeah, I'll include a link in the description and the notes here, and I think it's a perfect time, one, because it launched, but because update 2.3 is coming, and so I think there's a lot of questions people are going to have, and this is probably a really good spot to start to ask those.
Yeah. And I will also say disclaimer for anybody watching or listening later on. Don't ask me for help. You see me there. I'm horrible. This is just this has been my vision because I wanted, the program, but ask the other instructors, ask, Witness or Gallic or, Fish, anybody else, because I'm super scrub. We've got some really good guys in there who will be able to help you out, just not me. Cool. But yeah, no, this upcoming update.
Yeah, let's jump into the news and talk about a little bit of that and kind of what we're seeing coming.
Vainglory news.
So the first thing, I think the most maybe fun and potentially toxic thing coming is this charm system that's going to allow you to have taunts and tease dances and voice kind of teases. This is pretty neat. I know many players have seen the dances that were in the game for a split moment. I think it was probably back in October or November when the game was just about to launch in NA. So this is kind of them coming back in a way. Have you checked out the charm system or the dances themselves?
Oh yeah, no, I was so excited. I was a little bit belated. I hadn't, checked Twitter that day for a little while. And then I went on and I was seeing, I think Wookie was, who's a streamer. If anybody he has a cool channel, you should check it out. But he was posting these GIFs and I was like, what Grunjaw is twerking? What is this? And then I went and looked on Vainglory feed and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I posted about Krull because Krull is also Babe. And, saying if I see Rhyme, I will be the happiest, person ever. And then of course afterwards, 3 people linked me to the Rhyme. Right. One where he's swinging the golf club. So I was like, okay, yeah. So these I do like. I like the dances. I like giving the heroes a little personality and giving the players an ability to mess with them and having that kind of personalized touch. I think that's cool.
So you're going to be able to get these for, you can buy them for Glory for $4.99 and you get like a 7-day pass. So that's awesome that you can buy them with Glory. Like I have so much Glory, it just keeps building. I can't do anything with it. Like I have nothing to buy, so I can't buy chests or anything. So like it doesn't matter. So I'm glad there's something now to spend it on. But I'm kind of bummed it's a 7-day pass. That's a weird, like, hey, rent this thing for a couple days. I have no way to like keep it. Like, what if I really want it and I have to spend 500 Glory every week? I guess it's not that much if you play a lot, but
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of like, you know, I have some hesitation too. At least it's Glory and not Ice. You know, because if it was Ice, I feel like not a lot of people would use that, especially with the time limit.
I think people would be pissed if it was Ice. I think there'd be mad people. Yeah.
People would just be like, I'm sorry, what? But, you know, you get 100 some in solo, you know, coin and Glory, you know, in solo queue. So you play 4 matches, you know, is it worth it? You know, I guess it's kind of up to you depending on how much you play, depending on how much fun you want to have with it. We'll see.
So I know the taunts, the like verbal taunts, they're going to be map-wide voice lines. I hope there's a way you can mute these. I know this could potentially be incredibly annoying and toxic to people.
I foresee... Yeah. To be honest, I foresee this getting hot fixed real quick.
To mute or just turn it off completely?
Either mute or turn it off for the other team to see, because I feel, and this is just my personal opinion, especially on my Smurf, because I am so scrubbed that when I play on my GS account, people just go crazy and they're like, oh, so many gangsters, you know, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, it's not. You're really easy to beat me. Like, please, stop. So I go and I play on my Smurf a lot. And there's already so much, you know, toxic pinging as it is in the lower tiers that I just foresee like the whole little winky smiley face just getting abused a lot, and I worry about that.
It says if you taunt multiple times rapidly, like you'll only hear the first one. So I don't know what that delay is, but yeah, and then the kissy face. I'm worried.
Yeah, like the voice thing doesn't bother me as much as the kissy face. I'm just like, that's just like a little like, you know, right in your face. I'm just like, oh, if somebody's already tilted, that's just gonna make them tilt more. Yeah. And especially if you're in solo queue or, you know, or duo queue, and you're, you know, because you're with the split up now, and you're already, you know, if you're already in a toxic game or a stressful game, and somebody does that, you're just gonna be like,
yeah,
I'm done.
Or if you're someone that's starting out and you accidentally run into someone who's smurfing that is one of these top tier players who just kind of goof around, and then they're using these taunt emotes, and it may hurt those brand new players to just be like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's neat.
Yeah, the only thing. No, the only thing that I'm hoping for is that there's going to be a lot of people out there, like my 2 little nieces that I taught them the game, and they didn't understand the pings because they were so young. They were just like, oh, that person smiled at me, and I was like, yes, they totally meant it.
Okay, there you go.
Just like, yes, I'm just hoping that people, it's like, no, it's not toxic, I swear, I promise, I will shield you, bubble. So... yeah, no.
So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, get ready for charms. Everyone will get a free charms pass in the daily chest when that launches. So that's a good way to get basically everyone trying them out. So that's pretty awesome.
And the thing that I will say is there's going to probably be a lot of funny videos that are kind of come out of this. It's good for content creation, you know, for, you know, recording, you know, little things, or, you know, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that come out on Twitter and, you know, YouTube. So I'm excited to see those. I'm just not excited for playing
Yeah.
So.
Then also in 2.3, we're going to have something like a couple of quality of life changes that are going to be really nice. Like one, we'll be able to reorder your items, your activatable items. I know this has been a requested feature for a long time from people. This is going to be nice. I think we will quickly realize like how just much we rely on something like that, where you quickly move things around. So be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, especially Rome. Again, Captain. Captains are going to be very happy about that since they've got a lot more activatable.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to figure out like what thing do I want in my 1, 2, and 3 slot? Like what's my priorities? I don't know. We gotta think about that exactly. Now.
Yeah, well, and it's gonna make ranked games a little bit more interesting. I feel like because you're gonna be going in there and as a captain, you have the hardest position. In my opinion, in the game. So, so you have to make sure that you've got it all organized, especially in the higher tiers, of what's going to be most beneficial for your team for hitting. So it's going to be cool.
Yeah. And then we're seeing some other UI changes just to the hero selection stuff. Like this is nice. This is Kraken's work, just always trying to tweak the UI, make it a little easier. I know with the skins, it was starting to feel a little cumbersome in how you picked them and saw them. So this would be nice. And then they shared a bunch of notes. We don't have the patch notes yet as of recording this, but we'll probably have them Monday afternoon as this goes up. So keep an eye out for those. We won't run over all the notes here. I'll save that for episode 149. But we're likely to see this update on Wednesday the 29th. They haven't announced like the downtime yet, but the PvE is greenlit. People are streaming it. That usually means we're a couple days away. I do think we're missing a skin or two. We usually see 4 skins in every update, and we have only seen Gwen, Baron, and Idris. So there may be one more special skin, because we don't have like a seasonal or legendary or like one that you can only get with opals, whatever they're called now. Yeah. So I think
and the last few have been bought with ice. I haven't seen an opal skin in a while, which has been a blessing and a curse, because I got to the point that I bought all the ones with opals, and I was like, great. And now I've got, because I was getting a lot of chests with opals, and I was like, okay, now I have 500 and what am I going to do with this? Okay. I already got the 2 Celeste skins, so that's, what am I going to use this on?
Yeah. Once you use them, you need something else now, so yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of want them to do another one for that, but that's just my personal preference.
So stay tuned for whatever that will be. I don't know if they wait until the day of, or sometimes they do it like the morning of and just kind of tease it out as an extra reveal or something. We'll see what happens. Or it could be coming later. It might be in there and not available. They do that too. I don't know. A lot of questions.
They like to keep us on our toes.
Yeah. So that's update 2.3. Get ready for it. No hero this time. Which is fine. I think we're in like every 3 or 4 updates don't get a hero. That's probably all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that, because I feel like Grumpjaw hasn't seen enough play yet to warrant a new hero, or even to be really talking about it. I think that I want to see him used a fair bit more, and people to get used to him a little bit more before seeing something new. Yeah. Because if you just, if you're launching a lot of new heroes and people don't have time to catch up and and really utilize that and have the things that they want balanced and request and all that, because they just don't get.
Play, even Idris hasn't seen like a lot of play. So.
In comparison, yeah.
A couple other things in the news. I know you mentioned the Halcyon Hub. That's another Vainglory collective project, kind of spearheaded by Maple on this one. And so this is almost what Gangstar's Daily was for a little bit, where they're trying to update every day just what's happening. But this is like even bigger. It's sharing all the videos, artwork, news stories, article, everything just kind of in one place, so you could quickly check it and see what you missed. I know it's a I liked when Gangstars had the Gangstars Daily because I could quickly grab notes for the show or just see stuff that needed to be shared or talked about. So this was cool to see this finally get launched. I know it's basically the first phase of it, so it's going to get bigger and kind of more elaborate and just add more to it over time.
Oh yeah, but it still looks amazing and is a great resource. A whole section for esports, which is beneficial for me and you in particular, because we definitely really follow that scene, and it makes it a lot easier for people to follow the scene, and get your updates. And then especially the art section, I think is really cool and is going to be a good resource for people to follow all the art that's produced by the community.
There's so much art, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, and there's so much content, there's so much, creation, coming out, that be able to find it in a central location versus just, randomly on Twitter is really cool. And it's also, a way to showcase VG artists. There's the VG Art Discord server, so it's a way for them to not only be talking in there, but to have an outlet for their art, more than just on Twitter and Instagram. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And then the last bit of news I want to mention is Wolfhand's put up the new snapshot interview. So once a month, there's been these snapshot interviews. I think the first one was with Lady Wabish. There's been a couple others, and this latest one is with Fuji. It's a good interview. There's a link in the notes if you want to check it out and kind of just learn more about Fuji. But I'm really sad that when I pulled this up, it only had 100 views on the forums. And this thing is getting lost in the forums. This snapshot interview thing needs a new home. It needs to be somewhere else because they're nice interviews. They're not like crazy in depth or anything, but it's a good look at these people, these players, the people doing things in the community. And I just feel like it's getting overlooked by people just talking about like trolly things happening on the forums.
Yeah. No, well, I feel like that's, I think that the community is really trying to figure out, and what hopefully the Halcyon Hub as a website will help alleviate, is that when things are posted and content is created, and like things like this, like the interview, or things like the shows that the VGC is doing, Halcyon Report, having and behind the gamer tag, having a place. So you're not having to go out and just search for everything. Makes it a lot easier. So, who knows? Maybe we can get some of that stuff on the Halcyon Hub and have it, linked in there to get some more views and just have people to find it, because everything gets a little scattered sometimes.
Yeah. So check out the interview. There's a link in the notes. Just want to let people know it exists. That's kind of
Well, I mean, to be fair, before we talked about it, I didn't know. I had missed it. So, that goes to show something that, does get, looked over.
Yeah. So that does it for the news. The last thing, since we're talking about the forums, we'll do a little forum static before we get out of here.
Forum static.
So on the forums, this blew up and turned into basically like a Captain Nito AMA kind of thing. Someone posted on the forums about like their thoughts on Vainglory, and just like basically it was a really well put together like frustration post, not just like this game is stupid, balance it kind of post. There was a lot of like points into it, and then people chiming in. Then a couple pages in, Captain Nito got involved and kind of answered all the questions, and a lot of them were, you guys just need to tell us kind of what you want. Like we try to fix things, we try to improve the game based on what we hear, what we're seeing, but if you don't give us ideas, not just Blitz is stupid, and that's it. Like, well, what do you want? What don't you like about it? What can we do better? Like, that was, I felt like the meat of what he was just trying to get back. Like, we're listening. Like, did you read this? Yeah.
I did skim over and I skimmed some of the comments. I guess just the main thing that I'll say about that, and it's not even so much on the topic of the post itself. It's just more I guess, an appreciation to SEMC, because I mean, and I know everybody has reiterated this, time and time again, but in all of my history for, gaming and the games that I've played and, companies that I've seen, I have never seen developers so involved and so invested in the community itself and want to listen and want to take,
True.
all that into consideration, and say, give us your ideas. What do you want to see? And we will make it for you. So it's just really nice. I mean, that was the reason I stuck with Vainglory in the beginning, was me being this whatever tier 3 player in summer 2015, tweeting at the main Vainglory account my anger and frustration of, at the time, because there was only solo queue, about being matches and stuff, and saying how frustrated I was about not being able to find people, and having them tweet back, and I just still want to find out who that was, because I've heard, all the different people that, have access to the account and talking to them. So I'm going to find somebody one day when I go to the lair and be like,
who talked to me?
You were talking to me. But, just them, interacting and saying, here's all these resources on how to, find better plays. And I just think that's really, I do really appreciate that they, they try as much as they do.
Yeah.
And they are, they listen to us as a group and want to make sure that they can make happen what they can make happen.
Yeah, I know there was a recent video on, I think it was during Vainglory 8, they have this new packaged video that they kind of put together, and they said they have this heat map that they use to gauge the, I guess, general thoughts in the community for each region, and they showed kind of an image of it. It was kind of this area, EU is yellow and NA is green, so they're feeling good. So that's I want to know more about this heat map kind of feedback thing that's happening.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, no, I wanna delve into that a little bit and see what each thing means and what the responses that what they're seeing.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
So check out this forum post. I know it got posted on Reddit and shared quite a bit. Just them, Captain Nito, kind of sharing thoughts and kind of opinions about it. So yeah, there's a link in the show notes. So that's
10 pages of comments.
Yeah, 10 pages of comments. Link, read through it, check it out. Add your own thoughts and opinions. So that's it for episode 148, Black Dahlia. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for telling everyone about the Barracks. It's exciting.
No problem.
So where can people find you? And I guess there's a discordme.link for the Barracks too, right? I'll include a link, but yeah, let them know.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at blackdahlia_GS. Also, for those who don't, it's a weird spelling of Dahlia, and I understand that it is on purpose. It is, I do know how to spell it correctly, but I wanted it that way mainly because I didn't like the H in it. So anytime you are looking for me on Discord or Twitter or whatnot, or even in game, it's BLACKDALIA. So on Discord, it's that spelling, capitalized with the little star emoji. I realize that makes it harder to find me, but whatever. And hashtag, then the number is 2195, because I mostly communicate on Discord or Twitter. And then Twitter is just twitter.com/blackdahlia_GS. Cool. So yeah, and then to go onto the Barracks, it's discord.me/thebarracks. And we have, all of the admins, all of the people that worked on this project, Gallic, Sean from Brooklyn, Gallic's from Team Decentish, please, I think that's right. Don't yell at me if I get that wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm pretty sure it's Temptation Dish. Skills, who is also in Gangstars and runs EZL, and Halinator, who's part of Gangstars. So I know it looks like a lot of Gangstars people, but it's just that's who ended up being the team to work on it. Those are all of our admins, and they are great guys. They know so much about Vainglory in the game, and then all of our tutors are phenomenal. They have done an amazing job so far, and I'm so proud of them and the work that they've accomplished. So
nice. Yeah, so links to all of that in the notes and the description, so check it all out. Join the Barracks, start getting better at the game. And then Shatter The Vain is on Twitter, @Shatter The Vain, website shatterthevain.com. All the episodes are posted there, links to iTunes, Stitcher, the YouTube version as well. And I'll be back with episode 149, probably talking a lot about the changes in update 2.3, especially this attack speed that I gotta figure out and try it out and see what it's all about. So
I'm so nervous. I was looking over that, and I was just looking at the slashes of percentages.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I feel like it's gonna be the same, but it'll just be a little bit. I don't know. I think it'll just feel like something's different, but it's the same.
I feel like I'm gonna be playing a lot of CP after this.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, what does CP play? Because all of the weapon power speed attack stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, that'll do it for 148. Thanks for listening.
Let's get this over with.